My guest, Anna Whitehouse, is best known to hundreds, thousands of people who follow her online as parenting blogger Mother Pukka. And she is celebrating this morning after years of tirelessly campaigning to make it easier for mothers to stay in their careers, as her Flex Appeal campaign has led to a change in the law, allowing all workers the legal right to request flexible working. And she joins me now. Hi. What a seismic moment.
Yeah.
Did you ever believe that this moment would come?
Not at all. I mean, the first thing I did when I heard was just go and hug my children, because I've actually lost quite a lot of time campaigning for this change. Lost time with them, but then actually when it did come through, I thought, this is for you. This is for you two little girls. I mean, it's seismic, but there's still a long way to go.
Just take us back a bit, because it started with just one moment in your life that basically turned your whole thinking on its head.
It was... Any parent might recognise this, that point where you leave work at, like, 4:59 p.m. and you have to get to nursery for sort of 6 p.m. And I called it running the gauntlet. You know, if there were leaves on the line or a train was on strike or somebody got their briefcase trapped in the tube door, you were then late for nursery. And
there was a penalty, wasn't there? Financial penalty.
£1 a minute after 6 p.m. And my little daughter was there with her Paw Patrol backpack on, big Bambi eyes, not understanding why I was late. And it was a point where I went, do you know what? This isn't my fault. This isn't on me. The system is broken, not me.
And the point is, you had asked.
I asked to come in 15 minutes earlier at my job and leave 15 minutes earlier, so still doing the same time. And they said, I'm so sorry, we can't do it for you because it will open the floodgates to others seeking flexible working. And I was like, well, can we open the floodgates because people are drowning behind them?
And what happened then? Did you quit your job?
I just quit. I just couldn't do it anymore.
Wow.
And I was in a luxurious position of being able to at that point. But we weren't OK for money at the time. It was a risk. And I posted on Instagram. I had 62 followers. And I stopped posting about avocado toast and other things. I just went, I've just had to leave my job today because of 15 minutes. And I can't tell you how many people, when I had to leave my job, all women, I couldn't make it work. I was made redundant on maternity leave. And then I opened up my profile publicly and it just...
Holy moly.
I was an accidental activist.
That is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And can I just say, have you been back to see your old boss? Do they know... I mean, clearly they've seen you everywhere now.
I have a great relationship with them. I still work for them, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's the L'Oreal group. I didn't leave because I wasn't worth it. My boss wanted to keep me. They were just indicative of that archaic mindset that's across all businesses.
Well, now that's interesting, because now, clearly, if they employ people in the UK, which they clearly do, are going to have to do what you wanted them to do years ago.
I know.
I mean, how's that conversation been like? Thanks very much, mate.
Well, I think they realised that I wasn't doing it for just exhausted mums wanting to see more of their children. I was doing it for businesses because they lost a good talent.
Right.
You know, everything I've done and any success I've had since could have been going into their company, and it cost them to lose me for 15 minutes. So I was really fighting for businesses more than anyone else.
And so just tell us, what the law comes into force in the beginning of next year?
It will be sort of mid to end of next year,
oh,
2024.
Right,
okay. They're assuming early, but I always assume slightly later because they tend to take a bit longer.
And so what's the message to people now who are maybe going into the workplace, you know, they're maybe on the summer holidays thinking, actually, I also need a bit of what Mother Pukka's talking about. Can they ask for it now?
So you can't now because the law hasn't come into place yet, so it will be next year. But to be absolutely honest, I think employers are already getting into the zone of having to shift things.
Right.
It's more proactive at the moment than reactive. But I would say to anybody right now who is struggling, you can ask now. What will change in 2024 is that you can ask from day one. Right now, you have to wait for 26 weeks in a job.
And it's a legal requirement for the employer to say why not.
Exactly. So the onus is on them, instead of you as an employee going, please, sir, can I please just exist and look after my child in a system that isn't set up to succeed?
Minister, what do you think that this will fundamentally change in society? Because it is a societal change. It seems incremental, but it's there, and it's a serious step, isn't it?
It's huge, because if you think when the 9-to-5 was born, it was in the Industrial Revolution when men went and earned the bacon and women cooked it. That is not happening anymore. So it's an outdated system. And I like to look at it very simply as inclusive working. It's not about flexibility. Are you trying to include those with caring responsibilities, those with disabilities, everyone you possibly can into your company? And it's within business, you know, interests.
Yes. And what I think is interesting is because, of course, you come from a perspective of a working mum, but this is about everybody, and we have shared parental leave and things like that. So I do wonder whether fathers, stepfathers, blended families, it affects the whole family dynamic of...
Everyone.
It affects men as well as women, doesn't it? That's the point.
Well, I think that I hear from so many men who feel emasculated by asking for flexible working.
Exactly.
I'm like, there is nothing more manly than looking after your own child. That is my point. And we had a guy get in touch the other day, and he said, my boss said to me when I asked for flexible working, can't your missus do that? And he was like, well, my missus is a brain surgeon, so the bias that sits there still in who does what needs to be broken down, and that's what this bill is going to do. It's a start. I actually had the suffragettes logo tattooed on my arm.
Oh, wow, let's take a look.
To remind me of all the women that came before us in fighting to even get to this point.
I think that's absolutely remarkable.
I just went the next day and I thought, do you know what? Don't forget what the women have done before, how they have paved the way for me to even stand up. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what my daughters do to change things further.
And as you say, you think there's plenty more room to change working environments to make it more inclusive for everybody. So you don't have to lose your career.
No.
You lose experienced talent from a place. So, I mean, it's incredible.
Women should not be chopped out of the workforce for simply having ovaries.
Round of applause. I feel like I could vote for you. Like, I want you to be my councillor, I want you to be my MP. I think you're amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And take a moment to make some soft decisions. Put yourself first. Have one of these calming patches.
Thank you. I need one. I need one.
Chill. We've got some sleep. We've got a sleep clinic in a minute with Dr. Amir. I think you need it all.
You
need it all on our behalf.
Thank you so much.
All right, my darling. Take care of yourself. How wonderful is that?